Hey guys, it's Shock here, and I got the round 2 match in SunyFireCute's 430 subs tournament. Is versus GOLduck, aka Basti, and the first song will be Sad But True from Metallica. So he leads with his elf, and I lead with my Euxine and blast it. And he sets up his rocks while I go straight for the T-wave. Dun, 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 dun. So he goes out in Infernape, and I'm like, stealth rocks. And he goes for a U-turn, and that does quite a bit. So he goes out into A's elf, and I'm just like, Thunderwave, but, you know, can't, he's already paralyzed. So, I go straight for the Thunderbolt, which is going to do a fair bit to that Zelf, but he's going to go, what the boom, and there goes my Blasted. So he literally blasted my Blasted. So I go out of my custom set Electivire, 3 punches and an EQ, Dom Sobal, and he predicts this Ice Punch. It goes into Infernape, but as we all know, random hacks happens, and I get the Freeze Axe, and he stays frozen, and I go for the T-Punch, and since I'm max attack, Muscle Band, there goes that Infernape, so I'm like, booyah. So it goes down to Gliscor, and I'm like, maybe I might outspeed, but I'm not. I'm going to switch into Alexo, my Gyarados, to predict the EQ and get the Intimidate off at the same time. So I'm just going to go for the Dragon Dance here after the leftovers. And he's going to go back out into Dragonite, which is going to be down at half health now, with Stealth Rocks. And after +1 attack, Jelly Nature, max attack, max speed, that Dragonite is a goner. So then he goes out into Jolteon, which I'm going to get a crit here with EQ. Yeah, useless crit, honestly. Probably was useless. So at this point, I'm like sweeping him with Gyarados, and the reason I'm posting this part of the video, since this is a double feature, is so there's proof, you know, late proof. So he goes out into Pissy, and so he fled. So now I'm on to round 3. As you can see, that freeze hacks did matter, and I faced RevolutionX1600 in round 3. So song continues. So the rules for the third round were an NU battle, and so I decided to leave with my Typhlosion Firestorm, because everyone always thinks Scarf Typhlosion, but it's Wide Lens. And I go for the Fire Blast, and I know that Butterfree is sashed, like all of them are. But this Butterfree is going to do something different. I like the name, Soul Eater. It's going to Stun Spore me, not Sleep Powder, but Stun Spore. So he's going to go out into Sluggy's Gastrodon, and I'm going to get Parahaxed. And he's going to go straight for the Curse. So I go for the Him Power, and I'm like, wow, I can still outspeed that thing. Cool. Even though I already know Gastrodons are horribly slow. And it does a good bit. And he goes out into 10,000 Fist. But I get Parahaxed again. And I'm thinking he might be Choice Banded, because this close combat is going to OHKO my Firestorm. So then I go into my Articuno named Sub-Zero. And he's going to switch and go back out to Soul Eater, and I'm going to get the agility off. Now, I have an interesting EV spread. It's 100 HP, 100 defense, 210 special attack, 100 special defense. Life Orbed. So, that Ice Beam is obviously going to take out that Butterfree, and this Ice Beam is going to do like a crap load to that Hitmonchan. And he's going to go for the T-Punch. And I'm going to live with 3 HP, no Parahacks. So, of course, this Ice Beam is going to take him out. And I get another useless crit. And Life Orb recoil damage takes out my Articuno. So he goes down to Frank. And I go out into Regigigas, and I'm like, oh my god! And he predicts the Thunder Wave. And goes into Sluggy, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess now it's just EQ spam, because I'm really not trusting Return that much right now. So he keeps cursing up. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. So I went and checked on Smogon. I was like, oh wow, it's the NU version of the Curse Pert set. So he's gonna go rest, and I'm like, oh wait, let me guess, Resto Chesto, right? Wait for it, wait for it. Yep, Resto Chesto. And it's like, oh my god, wow. And I'm like, oh god, man. I keep forgetting to keep my Regigigas out of the box because, yeah, friendship level goes down. I'm thinking about just swapping Return Out for her Headbutt. So the next song is going to be, I'll pick it out in a second. So he's going to EQ me. It's going to do a good bit. And I'm going to just keep spamming EQ here. So the next song is Wherever I May Roam by Metallica. So I'm gonna EQ again to get some more damage on that thing. And he's gonna go for rest, and I'm like, alright. Since I know he's gonna be asleep for 2 turns now, I can safely bring in a safe switch after the leftovers animation. So I'm going to pull out my Titan, throw in my Protector, my Gardevoir. And it's a Timid Nature Max Special Attack Expert Belt. And that thing lives this energy ball because of those HP EVs. Just barely. And I just go with Psychic because I thought he might have decided to switch out, but instead he fodders off his Gastrodon. So then he goes out into new Perma for his Skuntank, and I'm like, I'll just fodder off my Gigas here to keep my Gardevoir around for later. He gets a crit on me. And I notice he's life orb, so I go on to my Gastrodon, and I'm like, I know I could take a Night Slash. And I go straight, and I do. I take it pretty nicely, actually. I go for the Earth Power, and I'm like, kapow! And that's going to take out that Skuntank. So I'm like, alright. So he goes back out into Frank, and I'm like, oh no! And I'm going to, like, barely live this, 27 HP. And I'm just going to surf for the KO. So I'm like, alright, Rev's got one more Pokemon. What is it? He's got to have one trick up his sleeve. What could it be? So he goes down to Omega 169 is Sandslash. And I'm like, yep, there goes Gastrodon. So I'm like, alright, I've got Gardevoir and I've got one more Pokemon he hasn't seen yet. Alright, go Swifty! My life orbed Float Cell. And I was like, Aqua Jet, Waterfall. And I was like, I'll go with Waterfall because it'll do more damage. And he's going to barely live that. And after this, EQ's going to take me down to 94 HP. And Rev's going to flee after this next turn. So, good game, Rev and Basti. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys go check out T-Flare, Pokemon Wi-Fi League, and their channels. Sub them. Peace.